What is going on, all you beautiful people? It is Jake Clip bringing you another video, and this is going to be the first things you should do on every new character that you make. So this is a new character. He's popped right out of the tutorial area. I actually voted to skip the tutorial, which you'll be able to do after you've done it on one character. So you've skipped the tutorial, or you've done it. You're going to pop out right here if you've got Blackwood, or alternatively, you're going to pop out at which most recent DLC you own. If you own just Morrowind, you'll pop out in Vardenfell. If you own the Reach, you'll pop out in the Reach. The game always likes to put you in the area in which you know. So let's start right away. New characters created in the last 2 years will have level up rewards. And what I mean by that is this: the rewards will be different. You'll see actual rewards, you'll get progression rewards, mounts, etc., scrolls, all sorts of goodies. You'll see that this one is actually a crown fortifying meal. We're going to claim that, and we're going to put these in. Now, this is already the first big decision you have on every new character. Now, if you're going to be making any sort of DPS character, you're going to either put all of your attribute points into either fully magicka or fully stamina. Even if you're a solo player and you just want to do solo content like arenas and quests, if you're going to be a magicka character and do magical spells, you're going to all magicka. If you're stamina, weapon damage, you're going to be wielding those big weapons, all stamina. If you want to make a tank, which I do not recommend you do as a level up character, because then doing quests and story will just be so much more slow because you're going to be dealing less damage, and you get a free attribute respec at level 45. So if you wanted to make a tank, level him up as a DPS, make him a tank at level 45 so you're not killing yourself leveling him up. But so this is going to be a mag character, so he's going to get 2 magicka points. Boom, now we've got our first big decision here. Alright, so skills level up faster and more efficiently based on how many of them you have in your skill bar. So we're level 3, that's where you're going to pop out the tutorial as, so we're going to get one of each of these, and we're going to slot it on our skill bar. You're going to do this for every class. Just take one of these, put them on your skill bar, and then they will level up as you do activities, questing, everything else, battlegrounds, PvP, PvE, everything will give them XP. So now you're going to be getting equal XP in all 3 of your class abilities. If you're a Nightblade, it'll be different classes, but every class has 3. So pop 1 in each. And then as soon as you get your weapon and you get another skill point from when you hit level 4, pop that bad boy in your LB slot or your RB slot, whatever you're comfortable with. Your ult also counts for this, so if you want to level up one faster, you can always pop that in to your ultimate to get a little extra XP bonus. Soul Magic does not level up based on it being on the bar. This is actually your progression in the main storyline, which is a whole separate set of things. And as you level up, you'll get more of these. Like you'll get the light armor, heavy armor, medium armor. That's not the main focus for this video. My recommendation, low level, just have 2 to 3 pieces of each, so they all level up equally, and that way your characters are more universal when they level up. But always focus your main character. You don't need passives right away. You don't need all that mumbo jumbo. You want a full hot bar of skills to level up most efficiently. All right. So you've done all that, you're still standing here. What's the next thing you do? Well, my recommendation is to do this. So every character is going to have, unfortunately, different video, audio, gameplay presets. It's going to go back to the default. So what we're doing right now is we're changing all of these in order to best fit what we need them to do. So my recommendation is you go straight to gameplay. Combat cues, turn them on. Custom colors. A lot of people will turn enemy colors to pink. So we're actually going to change this to pink. Why pink? Because it's easier to see on the ground. Prevent attacking innocents. You want this to be on, especially if you're like me. I always do quick cast ground abilities. Turn that on. What that means is so say you have something that gets cast or put down on the ground. Well, this way you only have to press the button once as opposing to aiming it. If you're really good at aiming it and knowing where you want to put it without having to double click it, you can just do this. Consolidate loot. Auto loot always turn on. Auto loot stolen items though I leave off because you only want to steal stuff that's good. Prevent stealing placed items on. Auto add to craft bag on. Loot history on. You want to know you're picking up. Always use the gold soul gems first. Tutorials you can leave on. Nothing crazy with that. Camera, nothing crazy is in here. You can edit that as you need. So I always prefer gamer tags. That way if you ever need to message anyone, invite anyone, it's easier. All of this is really personal preference. Your game apparently will run better though if you turn quick chat enable off. Nameplates, this is where it gets a little more interesting. I always turn nameplates on, and then I always have this turned on for other people just so I know what I'm interacting with. Health bars I leave on, everything else here. Again, personal preference, but I always think that it is nice to have on. So social, same thing. Turn profanity filters off. Also, turn leaderboard notifications off. You're going to get a ton of those, especially if you're in 5 guilds, trading guilds. Auto decline duels, leave that on or off, up to you. If you have a specific guild that you like to preference, so like this is my guild, so usually I edit the color here. And then we will change that around a little bit, and then leave the rest to default. Combat, so ability bar, always show this. Ability timers, always show. Put it on the back bar, always show. It is so nice to see these things. Always show this. Resource numbers, numbers and percentages. This is so nice. Ultimate numbers, show that bad boy too. It is so much more nicer to know how close you are to things in that scenario. Trust me. Combat text, outgoing. This is how you see all your damage going out. Buffs. You want to know when your buffs are always on. Always have your buffs on. Even, honestly, I always leave the buffs on from other and long effects and permanent effects. I find that that's the easiest way to know if you have your Mundus Stone, 'cause sometimes they take them away. It's buff food. If you've got permanent buffs on your character, what vampire stage you are, always nice to have those on your bar. So now if you back out, you can see this looks a little different. And I believe that's pretty your account. We're not going to do that. It's already linked. All right, so you're out here. What's the next thing you should do? All right, so my recommendation always is to go and set a mount. So most of you may not realize this, but you probably all have mounts because any pre-orders, with the time you bought the game, you probably have a mount. And the game will tell you don't have one selected when you first try to mount using the back bar or the back button. But you probably have one from doing something. You just may not realize it. So go in there. The other thing you can do is if you don't want to look like a poor homeless man, you can go in. You can go to your appearance and you can toss on a costume. Some of us will have lots of costumes depending on when you bought the game. And, you know, you can just toss something on so you look a little less poor. Or you can make yourself look intentionally more poor. It's 100% up to you. And you can toss on a skin if you so chose. You can make yourself look a little different. Give your new character a little bit of personality. And then wanted to, you could give them an actual personality, and then, you know, move on to, or give them a full-on polymorph. But more of a cosmetic thing than anything else. Now, what you should do is recognize what this is. So this is a zone story quest. This starts, this emblem is versus a black one. We're going to completely ignore this and talk about what we're doing on the way to where I'm going. So we're going to be doing 2 key things before we do anything else, and this is the main reason I made this video, is because many players forget to do these key 2 things when they're new characters. So we're going to slowly trot our way to the Way Shrine, and we're going to be going to the Mages and the Fighters Guild. Now, what's interesting that you may not realize is that you will have the starter zones unlocked for all your characters. And we'll be able to actually transport ourselves to Daggerfall. And that's where we're going to be going. And what we're going to be doing here is about a 10-second quest to gain both the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild quest line. Because most people do not pick these up on their new character. And why that's important is that your Fighters Guild levels up every time you kill a skeleton, a Daedra, a werewolf, a vampire, a necromancer, or basically anything that's undead. And you might be thinking, well, that's a lot of things. And it is. It's a lot of things. So you're going to want to be gaining Fighters Guild points when you kill those things. And at low level, for PvE, PvP, those skills could be good for you because the ults there are very powerful. The passives are really good. So being able to work towards those right away is really good. Also, if you skip the main storyline, it'll actually invite you to do the tutorial main storyline by taking that quest right there. And see, this is another example. This is a main quest line. This blue arrow here, this is a daily. I know that some of you probably already know this. And then that black arrow, that is a normal quest line. You'll also see that I've received mail, which I believe is from the starter. No, they've not mailed me anything. Actually, that goes to your inventory. So the supplies that go to your inventory. So this is good if you have, so for example, you want to use a bow, or you want to use an Inferno staff right out the way. Thankfully, this character is actually going to be an Inferno staff user. So as soon as I actually kill something with this, equipped, I should actually get enough XP to gain that skill line. So if you want, you can always go over, whap something with it, and then you'll get the skill line. It's actually telling me that in the top left corner. But where we're going to be focusing on is talking to this bad boy right here, right in Glenumbra, not the box. And he's going to say, do you want to join the Fighters Guild? You're just going to say yes, and boom, you're now part of the Fighters Guild. So now every time you do all those things that I mentioned to you earlier, you're going to be getting Fighters Guild points. And then you just run across the street, and then you're going to do the exact same thing to this lady right here. And she's going to be like, hey, would you like to join the Mages Guild? Wow, thanks for talking to me for 30 seconds. The interview process was so quickly. Now you're in the Mages Guild. It's really quite that simple. And then whatever you do after this is up to you. So I'm trying to keep this as like a first 10 to 15 minutes of your new character. So if you wanted my recommendation, you could go back to where we were in Blackwood, and you could do the main story. So the main story in every DLC zone, which will include Northern and Southern Elsewhere, that'll include Blackwood, Murkmire, the Reach, Western Skyrim, Hrothgar, is going to give you 1 skill point per quest. So it's always good to go through to all the DLC zones and do the quests there, versus if we did them here, we're in a base game zone. We're in the normal starter zone where all the poor people used to start when the game was first released. So what that means is that usually 1 to every 2 or 3 quests is what actually gives you a skill point, which is horrible. You'd be questing for a while to get your skill points. And where you can see, we got a whole nother skill line to level up, and as soon as we kill something, we're going to have a Destro staff to level up. We got a whole lot of things to level up, and a lot of work to do on this character. But this has been the first 10 to 15 minutes of what you should do on every new character that you make. If there's anything else that you think that you should do on your new characters, drop it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond to them. If not, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that other stuff that I never say at the end of any videos because I always forget that it's important. But it is, because I'm halfway to 1,000, which is my goal. And you guys have been so good in these last couple videos. They've been the fastest videos I've ever had, these last 3. Absolutely amazing, and I'm so proud of all the love that you guys have shown. So if there's anything else you want to see in the future, just let me know. If not, I'll see you in the next one, and I love you. Goodbye.